Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to this week's Elliott Wave Forex and Cryptocurrency Market Analysis webinar. I hope you all had a wonderful week. It has been a very productive week, so many market moves. So there has been a lot of trade setups that we have traded. I will share some of those in a bit. Now, we are making some improvements in our strategy. I know some of you know our famous blue box strategy. So what we have done here is improve that strategy and improve the entries. We'll be discussing that with the members in the next couple of days. And you will see that reflecting on our analysis as well and trade setups, as I'll be sharing in a bit as well. So it is an amazing strategy. So what we do here is real practical trading. So I show you what the forecast is in the previous week, and then I come here, I show you how that has played out. Whether it has played out as forecasted or not, I have to share that with you because that is how practical trading is. There is no magic, there is no holy grail. We're using a well-researched strategy, that is the Elliott Wave theory, and we followed simple rules and guideline to trade. Right, so now if you'd like to contact us, you can check out our contact details on all of the description of our videos. Check out our Telegram channel. You can check it out there. You will find the links to these live webinars. If you'd like to attend the live webinars, they start at 11 a.m. South African time on Saturdays. That is 9 a.m. GMT. Right, you can also follow us on TradingView. We will be posting some charts on TradingView. We have not really been that active, been focusing so much on our members. But we will be posting some charts on TradingView, so follow me on TradingView there. We'll post some charts for you. Check out our website, the Elliott Wave Elliott-Wave-Principle.com. Just click on the direct link. It will take you straight to our website. You'll find more information about our services, including the courses, how to book the course. Talking about the course, the next course starts on the 30th of November. This is officially the last course of the year. If you'd like to join us for a live course this year, check it out on our website. You can make a booking on the website. So when you make a booking on the website, you will get a fully recorded previous course. So that means even before the 30th of November, you would have already watched the course. Then from the 30th of November for the 2 weeks course, you'll be able to engage. You'll be able to engage with us during the live course. So check that out. It's a 2 weeks course. You will check out on the website here also under the subscription plans. I understand there are some members who prefer individual training. We have added a one-on-one individual training. So if you'd like individual training, check it out under the subscription plan. You will see it there under the subscription. So there is a one-on-one training course where you attend according to your own schedule. Where we agree on the schedule with one of our technical traders, and then we schedule the course for you. So if you're interested in that, I know some don't want to attend in groups. That is already going well. There's a couple of people that have already subscribed for that. We have scheduled sessions for them, and that is going well. So if you'd like a one-on-one session, check it out on the website. All right. So let's start with trade recaps. What have we done in the last week? Before that, just check out also our Twitter page as well as our Facebook page there. So check out our Twitter and our Facebook page. You'll see a lot of the charts that we post before and after. So this is just one of our pages on Facebook. This is exactly the same as our Twitter page. So the content that you see on the Facebook page is exactly the same as what you will see on Twitter. These charts, I will go through them now from our Slack channel. They are posted from our Slack channel, and I'll be going through these charts. So let's do that. So as you can see, whether the chart has played out or not. So just for example, before I share with you the charts that have played out, this is CHFJPY that we've shared on our social media page, and this is how this trade has actually failed. So it does actually, you do actually get trades that don't play out, but otherwise the majority of the trades, almost 70-80% of the setups play out. All right, so let's get through the trade setup. What have we been doing in the last week? Let's check our charts that we have shared with our members before and after. Let's look at our Slack group. So when you join us, you become a part of our Slack group where you can also interact with the other members that have also attended the course. So you can interact here and you can get access to all our trade setups and signals. So let's start with some of the setups here. Let's go full screen here so you can see this clearly. Right, so this is AUDCHF. The forecast on AUDCHF, and I'll go through this when we do detailed market analysis. The forecast on AUDCHF was for this to drop. And this is how this one has dropped from there forecasted. We're looking for that wave C there. That is AUDCHF. EURAUD, as you can see, this is one of those amazing trades. Amazing trades. You can see here the forecast was that this is going to come around here and it was going to push up higher. From there, that would have completed the sequence, and then we're going to expect to move to the downside. Now look how this plays out. Exactly as forecasted. What happens? It comes down here. It makes a move to the upside, and now EURAUD is already starting to make a move to the downside as forecasted. Right? Now, EURCAD, as you can see here, this is the move here. There was the expected move here. It is currently busy making this corrective structure, right? So the corrective structure on EURCAD has already started playing out. We'll be looking to sell the end of the corrective structure, as you can see there. Euro New Zealand. Now, this is a very interesting pair. This is the one that I wanted to share for this week, so you can see how practical trading is and how you can benefit trading the Elliott Wave theory. Now, you see here, there are 3 moves forecasted. Okay, and we didn't just focus it from here. So there are 3 moves. The first one is here, and the other one is here, and the other one is to come down here. Now, all these moves have already started playing out. This one is already completed. This one is already completed. This one is already underway. This is how we've traded all these moves. So next one here that you see is when we were trading. So this one is the complete picture of how this has played out. This is now when it was still coming down. You saw the forecast was for this to come down, up, and then down. So here we had a trade setup to come down here. We also had another trade setup here to trade this one. We also had another trade setup to trade this one to come to the downside. Now, all these moves, 1, 2, 3, forecasted. Now we're looking for this one. How did we know that we're going to get all these moves forecasted like this? And this is not small pips. This is over 150 pips here. Here is from about 77 to about 80. This is over 300 pips. We're already about another 300 pips down. So about almost 1,000 pips from just one single trade, and we are expecting more in the next coming session. Now watch Euro New Zealand. It is still going to continue lower, but then how do you then ride the trend? That is where our tools come in. That is one of our indicators that we use. Before I continue with the rest, I want you to see how we trade this practically, right? So you've seen the forecast. I want you to see how it is actually traded, because there are specific trade setups for that. Okay, so that was the forecast. As you can see, the forecast is for this to come down, up, and then down. 150 down, 300 pips up. This is 300 pips so far. We're still expecting more, about 500 pips still to the downside. Now, how do we trade it? This is the actual trading now. It's not just, so with the trade setup here, we're expecting this one to go all the way, but it only went 150 pips. When it went around this level, you saw that another setup that came was this one here, and then we were trading this one to the upside as follows. So that is how the next one came about. Right, so this one was to push to the upside like that, and that is how we traded Euro New Zealand. So let's go back to the rest of the setups so you can see how we've traded that. So that is how we've traded all these moves. EURCAD, we've already looked at that. Euro New Zealand. So it was a very, very interesting setup there. Now, Pound AUD, you will see also this when I start referring to the website, how we've traded this one here. So we were looking for this one to simply give us a 3-way move. How has that one played out? This one is already played out like that, has given us that move that we were expecting. Now, again, let me refer you to our website here so you can see the setup. So we've got all the listed pairs that you see that we analyze here. We have them in 4 time frames listed here. As you can see, we've got them all in the weekly, daily, 4-hour, and the 1 hour. So that means if you remember, you can always go into the website and check what our view is on any of the time frames. So let's have a look at pound AUD now. Pound AUD, you saw the forecast. The forecast was from right here at the bottom. Now here, this is when we're showing that it's going to come in. This is an update, so that we update this regularly whenever the structure changes or whenever the structure updates. So we'll get this one to the upside here, and then now we are looking for pound to be coming to the downside. As you've seen now, pound is already on its way to the downside. So they just show you pound AUD. It's already making a move to the downside as expected. There we go. So you saw the forecast there was for this one to make a push to the upside here and then drop. So that is how we are trading. Now, as for the next move, we will show that when we start with the market analysis. That is pound AUD. Now, this is New Zealand Chief. New Zealand Chief, we traded this one to the downside and then upside. This was obviously because of the New Zealand. When we were selling the New Zealand, we were buying New Zealand. When we were selling Euro New Zealand, we were buying New Zealand Chief because it's just the New Zealand in them. All right, so the Euro New Zealand is, you've got the New Zealand as the quoted pair, and then here you've got the New Zealand as the base pair. So when we sold Euro New Zealand, we were buying this one to the upside. Okay, so just 1 second. Right, so there we have it. So that is New Zealand Chief, and that is how we got New Zealand Chief. Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar is magical as well. Look at this. We're looking for this one to make a move to the upside here, and then the drop. We've already started the drop from here. This is how pound is playing out so far. You'll see with the market analysis shortly when we start. We're already starting the move to the downside here. It's already gone about 150 pips from this forecasted area. How did we know that it was going to come here and then reverse exactly pinpointed at that area? That is pound US dollar. That is the new strategy that we are using. Not necessarily new, but an improvement in our strategy. Now, this is AUD US dollar. Look at what the forecast is on AUD New Zealand. I should actually be showing you this during the market analysis. This is just a forecast and a pullback here. We're expecting more to the downside. Let's run through this quickly. I don't want to show detail of everything because you will see how this will play out. So this is now up here, expecting this to come down, and this is exactly how this is playing out. So all these charts are listed on our website for members. So see it before it happens. This is CHFJPY now. AUDJPY, you can see we're expecting a drop here and a pullback, and we already have a drop and a pullback. Are we going to continue to the downside? We'll show that shortly with market analysis. Now, Bitcoin, very interesting one, over 1,800 points to the upside on Bitcoin. We are around the 12,000 area on Bitcoin. This is how it has played out. We are already in Bitcoin. It is playing out very well. Last week, I showed you the entry on Bitcoin. Check out the crypto analysis. We're going to be doing a detailed crypto analysis shortly after this, or you can just check out the next video for those that are only watching the videos on YouTube. Right, so that is a Bitcoin, 1,800 pips to the upside forecasted. That is how this one has played out. Look at Ethereum, also played out exactly as forecasted. It's already still on the move to the upside. We're still expecting more upside. Pound New Zealand, this is a failed trade. It did not go all, it's actually, it's not the right one that I want to show you. So this one has actually played out to the upside. It has played out, but did not reach the level that we wanted it to. It is still making 3 waves, but this is a short 3 waves. Does not disqualify the structure. It will still, we just adjust the structure to come around here and then down. So that means that trade has actually failed to the upside. And we're looking at this now as a 3-wave structure. We're looking for continuation to the downside. That is pound New Zealand. Bitcoin, this is showing you the exact pinpointed entry with a stop, because you can't just focus without putting in the stop. This one is showing you exact entry with a stop area. That is Bitcoin, and that is how this has played out. CAD yen, as you can see, it's just gone sideways. Nothing has happened yet there. Euro is showing you that upside trade setup. And looking for this one. This is what we're expecting now of the Euro New Zealand. We will be looking to sell it again. We're looking to sell Euro New Zealand again. Right. That is the Euro New Zealand, and that is how the week played out. So very productive week, very, very good strategy that we're using. The improvement improves the pinpointed entry tremendously. So you will see as we do updates next week how we're trading. So members are actually going to benefit from this. Right, so let's start with market analysis. We'll start with the DXY, and I'll be referring to some of the charts on our website. So the DXY, let's have a look at the DXY. So the DXY is the inverse of mostly the inverse of euro, US dollar. Let's start with the US dollar pairs. Let's start with Euro US dollar, then we'll come to the DXY. So last week there was this possibility. We're seeing these three waves to the downside. We also saw there was a possibility of this one. So the forecast was for this to go all the way to the upside. But what we were seeing during the week was that this was actually making a three-wave move to the upside. It's going up in three waves. So we expected that as this could also be a wave 4. This is a possibility. So that means the wave 4 in red may be incomplete. This is where we are currently. We're currently in this move here to the upside. Is this going to go all the way and give us a wave 4, or is the wave 4 still going to be a double correction before we actually make a move to the upside? So let's check what the confirmation is and what the indicator is telling us. Is it going to go up or is it going to come down? Let's look at Euro US dollar first before we look at the dollar index. So looking at Euro US dollar, currently the structure looks as follows. Even if this is going to come down, so we still have that three waves to the downside. Let me use yellow, I think it's more visible. Even if we still have this one as 1, 2, 3, there's still a possibility that this is a three-wave move to the upside as follows: 1, 2, 3, expanding flat, 1, 2. Possibility of this one giving us a 3 before we actually get the move to the downside. So there's still going to be a bit of a push to the upside on the euro. What does that mean for the DXY? This is not necessarily a trade setup. We're expecting a bit of a push to the upside. What does that mean for the DXY? So for the DXY means we're still going to get a push to the downside as well. So if you look at the DXY, we also have this one here. Let's show this one. 1, 2, 3 down, pull back, 1, 2. We're expecting this one to make a 3 down as well. Okay, so the rest of the structure, if you look at the rest of the structure, let's look at the Euro US dollar. This is what we have here. That is the forecast. We're expecting this to go to the upside. What about the DXY? The DXY, we're expecting the same to be the inverse of the euro. So we're expecting this one to continue to the downside. So this is incomplete here. If it's going to make a move to the upside, it must come down first. Right, so that is the DXY and the euro. Let's look at the rest of the pairs. Pound US dollar. Pound US dollar, as we've shown you during trade setups, this was magical. We expected this one to come around this level, pinpointed to this level. This is where the reversal comes in. Now, from now on, we actually have the indicator can actually show us the pinpointed entry. We don't have to wait for breakouts. We don't have to wait for corrections. We can actually take it straight from where we focus. So this is where we have sold pound US dollar. It's about 150 pips down now. This is pound US dollar. So pound US dollar, as you can see, this is what we have here, pinpointed there, and we're expecting, this is the trade. We've got a trade running here. So this is how this is going. We're going to be looking for this to continue to the downside. Still looking nice and bearish. So that is a pound US dollar. Expecting it to break lower. This is the corrective structure. We're expecting this one to even break lower and give us a possible structure like this. So the next target is minimum this level, because then that will be 5 waves down here, 3 waves up, and another expectation is another 5 waves to the downside with a wave C. Minimum level, this level here. Right, so that is pound US dollar, and that is how we're looking at pound US dollar. And let's look at the next one is US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD, I showed you this last week, the continuation to the downside. If you look at video last week, this is exactly what I did. Still the same chart. We said this is going to continue to the downside, and it is continuing to the downside as follows. Let's look at US dollar CAD. We have dropped. This is where the correction, the expected correction was. We have dropped. Now, this looks like a corrective structure. The natural expectation for most of the Elliott Wave traders will be for this one to make a correction and make a push to the upside. It does not necessarily just work like that. This can actually just drop from here. can actually just drop from here, and that is what the indicator is showing us. We're not seeing any signs of this breaking to the upside, but let's see how this plays out. I'm expecting this one to continue. So even if it does make a push to the upside, it will just be a corrective structure and continue to the downside. That is a US dollar CAD. Audi US dollar, you've seen this one during trade setups. Let's show it also here, Audi US dollar. I'm showing you only the 4-hour charts. So as you can see, Audi, 1, 2, 3 down, 3 waves up, 1. The expectation is this one. This is what you're seeing right now with Audi. And if you go to last week's video, I don't know if I have it here. If you go to last week's video, this is actually, yes, last week's video. That's what we've drawn. We expected, this is the expectation. This is the one. This is the one. Last week, I was showing you this in purple. The current correction on Audi is this one. That's the one that we were showing in purple last week. Is this now ready to make a push to the downside? Not yet. Let's watch how this plays out. It can even play out like this and make 3 waves and then downside. So let's watch this one for downside. This is Audi looking very good. It's going to be a very nice setup if we start getting a trade setup for a sell here on Audi. Let's keep an eye. So something like this, something like this, something like this. WXY structure. Okay, it's going to be a very interesting one after this one completes. New Zealand is similar. So last week I referred you to the video from the 3rd to the 5th. Let me just make sure so you can go to the right video to refer this, because this analysis they come a long way. So we focus this sometimes weeks ahead. Let's go back to my channel. So you can just see here, I think it was 3 to 5 October. Let's check all the videos. So I'll refer you to the right one. The right one is 5 to 9 October. You'll see that most of this forecast, we forecasted these moves from the 5th to the 9th of October, that we're going to get this and then we're going to get a drop. Now, we didn't get the drop from here that we expected. We've just dropped slightly, but what are we seeing with that drop? We have to manage this because you won't see this beforehand. This is a 3-wave structure now. So a bit of a push to the upside and then drop. Okay, so it's just making a complex correction. So the structure overall does not change. What about US dollar ZAR? US dollar ZAR does not change. We actually attempted to take a trade here, I think 2 weeks back, which failed because we expected it to go all the way from here. But instead, what has happened? It makes a flat correction first before continuing to the downside. Let's see what happens when we get to this level. Possible break around here and then a pullback before we come down. Why do we expect such a structure? It's because of this. We're not just we're showing wave patterns here. So that's the move, that's the wave there. That is the 3 waves there. And we're expecting another 3 waves there. We're expecting a double correction. Wherever this is going to come down, and then we're going to be looking for this one to come up. We will see the reversal signs, and then we should be able to catch the bigger move to the upside on US dollar ZAR. Pound yen. Let's go to the side so you can see what we're expecting here. So let's go to pound, to the yen pairs. I think we're done with the US dollar pairs. Let's look at the pound pairs, yen pairs rather. Let's go to the yen pairs. Right, yen pairs, pound yen 4 hour. What is the expectation here is for this to drop here and make a continuation pattern to the upside. So this is on the 4 hour. Let me show you the 1 hour as well so you can see the detail. So on the 1 hour, this is the expectation. How has that played out? It's already playing out exactly as forecasted. So this is the 4 hour. So on the 4 hour, the expectation was for pound yen to make this drop here and then push up higher. And on the 1 hour, we're expecting the same. It's just more detailed now. We're expecting this one to continue lower. Let's see here, any continuation pattern here on pound yen. We're going to be looking for this one to come down here because the expectation is for these 3 waves to come down here. So we've got this one as actually 3 waves down here. We've got this as 3 waves down. You've got 1, 2, 3 up. You're expecting another 3 waves down. Okay, either 3 waves, this can actually also be 5 waves. Nothing wrong with this being 5 waves. It's just going to change the way we label this. So it's going to be ABC structure here. Right, so continuation patterns to the downside. Shallow corrections really here. Shallow corrections up to around this level. Then we'll expect a bounce to the upside. That is pound yen. Now, US dollar yen. Now, US dollar yen, we expected that this was going to make 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is the forecast, and expected this one to push to the upside. Does not look like it's ready for a push to the upside yet. Looks like we still have continuation to the downside. Here was a very nice entry for downside, made a very nice corrective structure. So it is making a similar corrective structure here, which could do this as well. So similar structure here. So let's have a look here on the website. So here, just to show you the forecast as I've explained, we're expecting this one from around this level to push higher. So it has not pushed up higher. Instead, it's giving us a continuation pattern for downside. It's not pushing higher. We can see that that is not going up. So we're expecting this one to make a continuation to the downside, possibly even retest this level here on US dollar yen. So let's watch it for the next week. Euro yen, let's have a look at Euro yen. Euro yen has done this now. Let's go to the Euro yen structure. Let's go to the Euro yen structure on the live current Euro yen structure. Now, Euro yen, we could have made here 3 waves. So Euro yen is actually going to go sideways here. So this correction is starting to get really complex. Let's show you clearly here. So last week, or rather 3 weeks back, we expected this to drop, but not just this drop, we expected it to go all the way. Looking at this as a correction, as you can see, did not go all the way, dropped a couple of 100 pips and makes another pulsing move to the upside. Now, how do we manage this? So this is how we're going to manage this. We can see that there's a pulsing move here, there's another pulsing move here. So there's a different degree here, one possibility for a number of structures here. If you look at this, possibilities for a number of structures, this could make a move up here, and this one could make a move up here, down here, then we get this. So we may stay here for a while in this move. So I'm not just drawing lines here. There's a clear wave structure from what I'm drawing here. So if you look at the red degree, we could be having here as this as WXY structure. I see some Elliott Wave traders, those who some traders who post up their analysis, they try to hide this from you. There's nothing wrong. I mean, I don't understand the reason why they should be hiding this from you, because this is the basic Elliott Wave theory. There's no need to hide this. This is basic stuff. So WXY structure. Most of the traders don't know how to identify these complex corrections. So this ABC structure. Okay. There's just different degrees. So you need to be able to understand how to identify the degrees here, A, B, C here. This can go on and on and on, but you need to have the basic understanding of how to see the degrees. So if you don't know how to see this, you won't be able to see that there's a complex correction coming like there is here on US dollar yen. So it's going to be a bit of a complex one. So we take it one move at a time. Now we're expecting a bit of a move to the upside there on Euro yen. Similar to EUROCHF yen. So CHF yen, a bit of a push to the upside here. This one is actually a bit tricky. Let's have a look here. You could have here on CHF yen, this one having made a move down here, 3 waves, and we could be making a similar move to the downside. So it's possible on Euro as well that we have exactly the same as well, and that it has made an expanding flat like this, and then we start making a move here. We will wait for the indicator to confirm. We're not trading this. This is not a trade setup. This is a forecast. All right. So CAD yen, we've got CAD yen as one of the forecasts that we have. Let's look at it on the 4 hour. So it's a very nice setup, not setup, rather, a forecast on CAD yen. Let's look at it on the side here. So CAD yen on the 4 hour. I've opened the wrong one. I want to open CAD yen. CAD yen on the 4 hour looks very interesting. Let's look at it on the structure here. So this is CAD yen. So CAD yen, we've got this W and looking at the whole thing as an X and looking at this one as a Y. Right, so here internally, if we look at this structure here, we've got WX. We're looking for this one to come down here. We're expecting this one to continue to the downside. Are we getting that? We're getting exactly that as forecasted. So if we start getting this move to the downside on CAD yen, that is what we're looking for. All right. Just to show you a bit more detail on this one, this is the structure, up, correction. This is the whole correction. And we'll be looking for this one to come down here and then upside. That is CAD yen. Right, and then New Zealand, rather Audi yen, expecting this one to continue to the downside. We're still in this corrective structure. 1, 2, 3, pull back, 1, 2, 3. Audi yen. Let's have a look at Audi yen. We are in that corrective structure. So now look out for this to push lower. Look out for this to push lower. After completing this corrective structure, we'll be looking for this to do that. So there could be a nice trade for downside there on Audi yen as well as New Zealand yen. So watch out, New Zealand yen has made this three-wave structure, but the bigger structure is this one here. So let's look at the bigger structure that we looked at last week. We've made three waves up here. Looks like we're making another three waves down here, up here, and then we'll expect another three waves to the downside, making this a possible flat correction. So let's see what we get here. We started with a bigger one here. We'll be expecting this, and this one should be a possible WXY structure. Okay, very interesting structure. Let's see how that plays out. Now this is gold. Let's look at gold and what we indicated last week on gold. So gold, we have indicated that there's a possibility that this has actually ended this structure. Let's show this. There's a triangle here that we focused it. 1, 2, 3. Now the expectation after this is that this is going to make a move to the upside, because as I've said a number of times, gold could just be in the wave 4 and we're looking for it to go for a wave 5. I'll show you the structure just now. Now, what if this wave 4 is incomplete, or rather, let's not talk about wave 4. This is our forecast. We're forecasting upside. Now, this makes a corrective structure here. How do we then adjust? How do we then adjust the structure? We see that it's going up in three waves. It is correcting here. This could possibly go up in three waves. So we take it one move at a time. As it is now, we've seen this possibility last week, that there was a possibility for the gold to make a move to the downside here. And if it's making this move to the downside, that's a possibility that this is actually only making a three-wave structure like it has done here. 1, 2, 3. Now, if that is the case, what does this mean for the bigger structure? That means we're possibly getting a double correction. And gold may continue to come down and do this and make a bigger structure, but that structure will still be the wave 4 that we're forecasting, and we're still expecting that wave 5 to come. Right, let's show that structure on show you the chart here on gold 4 hour, the commodities. There we go. So you can see that is the forecast. Is it going up as we forecasted? We've got the invalidation area, and the invalidation area is here. So far we've got this possibility of this one coming down here. This will be invalidated if we reach this level. Then we're going to start looking at the alternative of this making a double correction. Right, so for now, we're not doing anything on gold. We're just going to watch it. Same as silver. Let's look at silver. So silver also, the expectation is for this to make a move to the upside after also making the three-wave structure like this. 1, 2, 3. Clear ABC structure. Are we ready to make a move to the upside? It also looks like it's making a three-wave to the upside. And if that is three waves, 1, 2, 3. If this is three waves and it does this, that means there's a three-wave move, and we'll expect this one to do that. Whichever corrective structure, it doesn't matter which corrective structure, we'll be looking for this to come down. Okay, not like that. That would be wrong to do it like that. It should be WXY here. So this can be any corrective structure, expanding, running, whatever. Then we'll expect a silver to resume a move to the upside. So if we get a buy setup here, we'll still take it. If we get a sell setup, we'll take it. We'll take it one move at a time until the structure makes sense. So what we're doing here is focus the move, focus the sequence, and we wait for the indicator to confirm that move. What happens when the indicator confirms the move? That's when we execute the trade. Simple as that. Platinum looking like it's making this corrective structure, and we'll be looking for this one to continue lower. Right, let's look at Brent crude. Brent crude, there's a number of ways that this can play out here. So this is Brent crude here. So Brent crude, the forecast that we have on our side is that this is going to make a move like that and do this and then do this. So we will wait to see what we get here. What if this continues to the upside? That is exactly what we're looking for. But what if it makes a move to the downside here like that? If it starts making a move to the downside, we're going to be looking at this one as a 3 waves, and then we'll be looking to buy this one to the upside, because then that will be the whole corrective structure. Let's see what it looks like. Let's look at oil on the 4 hour. That is the forecast. We expected this one to be a 1, 2, 3 waves. So this is another alternative. Are we getting this one to push up higher? So it's 3 waves down. 1, 2. Are we getting the 3 here? Looks like we might. Looks like we might get that 3, because there's a very nice setup here that may be coming up on oil. So we just need to see this one confirms here. So if oil breaks out of this corrective structure, 1, 1, 2, 3, down here, and then we start getting this move. That is exactly what we will be looking for. How will that affect the structure? Let's have a look at it. The structure will then be, after that ending diagonal, we're getting 1, 2, 3 down, and we're getting 1, 2, 3 up. Whether it takes the top or not doesn't really matter, but we'll be looking for this one to push up higher. All right, so that is what we have here on Brent crude oil. Let's look at the pound pace. Pound chief is making a very nice corrective structure here. We have, last week I indicated, or rather 3 weeks back, we showed you this structure like this. We said this is going to make a move to the downside, and it's going to make a move up to the downside and then go. It didn't go as yet. Adjust the structure. Simple. 1, 2. Let's just do this. It's 1 here. We see there's a 1 here. There's 1, 2. Let's fix this one up here. There's another structure here. 2, 3. I'm doing it incorrectly here. So this is the 1 here. There we go. So that is our structure. Adjust the structure. Adjust. So the trade did not confirm to the upside, so we're still coming down. How has this affected the structure? 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 back. So there's a possibility that here you get a pullback. So you're gonna get a sell setup here, which will be the completing this. And then we're gonna get this move that we are looking for on chief. Right, so clear structure on chief WXY. You can see the rest of the structure where this is coming from. That is a pound chief. What about pound AUD? Pound AUD, you saw this one on forecast. On the trade setups, you can refer back to trade setups. We looked at this one to be making a 3-wave structure here to complete this 1, 2, 3 waves there. Now we're looking for downside. Look for this to the downside. But there's a possibility this can actually make one continuation pattern to the upside and make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just like it did 1, 2, 3. Let me do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 waves here. It could make also 5 waves. So don't be surprised if you just see pound AUD push up higher, because this one is still missing in sequence. The sequence that we've got focused on pound is still mixing to the upside. So do not rush to sell this one. Sell only on confirmation. Pound CAD. Pound CAD looking very good. 3 waves up, 3 waves down, 3 waves up, flat correction. It's coming down like that. It cannot be this obvious, so do not just go and sell here. You may get a corrective structure here before we drop. They won't make it that simple. Pound New Zealand. Pound New Zealand, very clear structure, also missing in sequence. The sequence to the upside is missing, so I wouldn't be surprised if I see Pound New Zealand push up higher like this. 1, 2, 3 here. If you remember, we focused this flat and expected this one to push up slightly higher. So don't be surprised if you see Pound New Zealand and Pound AUD just push up higher like that. There will be a clear structure that they will be following if it does. Otherwise, if you get a sell setup, then that structure has completed. You're going to start looking for downside, and we're going to be looking for this big move here. Very, very interesting setups leading up towards November on this. Right, Euro pound, how many times have we shown Euro pound that we want Euro pound to come up here and then drop? looking for this structure, looking for these 3 waves down, 1, 2, 3 down, up, and then looking for this one to come down. Now let's go and look at the structure on Euro Pound. Let's look at the Euros. I didn't show you the Euros. Let's show you the Euros. Let's start with the Euro Pound. Euro Pound 4 hour, exactly as shown here. Can you see here? We wanted it to come here and then come down. We are down here. Is this going to go all the way? We've already come up here. Now let's adjust the structure. So Euro Pound, that structure is like this: 1, 2, 3 waves down, and we've got 1, 2. Again, the structure has changed slightly here. 1, 2, complete. 1, 2, 3 waves there. Now you could possibly get Euro Pound to do this. Do not be surprised if you see this. No confirmation for it yet, but that's just a sequence. We could be getting that as a 3-wave structure. Let's watch how that goes. EURAUD, you've already seen EURAUD during trade setups. Now again, EURAUD in terms of sequence, it has reached the sequence, number of sequences that we've been counting. So this can actually start pushing to the downside, but it can wait for the pound out. Pound out has not really reached that sequence. Let's have a look. Do we get an upside here on EURAUD? So we may get EURAUD to do this, while pound out is actually pushing up and breaking this level here, so that they can all be in the same sequence. And we'll see how this goes. So that structure will be 1, 2, 3. The whole corrective structure, we're expecting this one to come down. Let's watch how this goes in the next coming sessions. That is EURAUD, Euro Pound, or rather EURCAD. EURCAD. Let's have a look at EURCAD. EURCAD on the 4 hour. So EURCAD, it's a very interesting pair, EURCAD. You've got 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 up here, 1. What you're seeing on EURCAD, I've already indicated, what you're seeing on EURCAD is this correction, and we're looking for it to drop here before we move to the upside. So simple as that on EURCAD, watch it. EURCHF. EURCHF, the forecast was for EURCHF to have completed here and push up higher. But just like US dollar yen, even with the focus to the upside, we can see that this went up with a correction. So this was a move to the downside. It is going to continue to the downside again. Watch EURCHF for a continuation to the downside. Euro New Zealand is that magical trade. I've already shown you this during trade setups. Very clear structure. You've got 3 waves down here. You've got nice corrective structure, complex corrective structure. This is where most of the Elliott Wave struggle with this complex correction, and we're looking for this one to come down. We're looking for this correction here and the continuation to the downside. That is Euro New Zealand. Did I cover all the Euro pairs? Yes, I have. Let's go through the crosses. EURCAD. Got so much stuff here now. Let's take some of them off. Right. Let's look at AUDCHF. Is it AUDCHF? Yes, it is. Let's look at the crosses. Let's look at the cross pairs. Right. So let's start with AUD New Zealand. AUD New Zealand. We have been looking at this corrective structure. If you remember, we've been looking for this one to go from here, but as you can see, it has made a double. So there's a trade setup that we also took for downside here on Euro New Zealand, still coming down here. So don't be surprised if you get something like this, a pullback before coming down. That is AUD New Zealand. And next one is AUDCHF. We are on AUDCHF. It has completed the 3 waves as follows: 1, 2, 3. Are we going to get a push to the upside, or are we going to get this one making a double? 2 alternatives there. So we are here currently. It looks like we might just make a move to the upside. Let's see if we get a decent corrective structure here, and then we'll be looking for this to do that. Or this is 3, or we can make another 3 before we make another 3 WXY structure. Let's see how this plays out on AUDCHF. For now, look for an entry for upside here if it confirms. If it doesn't come, the sequence to the downside continues. AUDCHF, let's just run through them here on the site. AUDCHF has dropped from here. We're expecting upside. Has dropped. We've got the short move as forecasted. You've seen this one under trade setup. First one that I started with, we'll be looking for that. Out in New Zealand, we've covered. Let's look at another one. New Zealand CAD 4 hour. So New Zealand CAD, we've got this forecast to the downside like this, and expecting that. Let's look at that. It is New Zealand CAD, right? New Zealand CAD. That is New Zealand CAD. Looks like it may have completed these 3 waves and a move to the downside. Let's watch how this one is going to play out, because the expectation here, let me just show the structure. So the expectation here is that this was a 3-wave structure. Now this structure is not coming down impulsively as supposed to be a C. So this may be a correction. If it is a correction, this can play out like this. So we can have a bounce here. Then that still becomes an A, but your B is here because that is now a flat. So let's see how this one is going to play out. We're going to get it like that. Okay, so that is New Zealand CAD. Very clear structure though. New Zealand CHF, I've shown this one during trade setups. If you look at New Zealand CHF, if we go to the website, we've forecasted the move to the downside and then upside. This move down and then upside. I've shown you this during trade setup. So this one could still push to the upside. So watch this here. If we get a continuation pattern here, you're taking it up here. That is New Zealand CHF. And lastly, CADJPY. Let's look at CADJPY on the site. 4 hour. So CADJPY, expectation was for this one to come down here like this. 1, 2, 3. What are we getting here? Exactly what we have forecasted. It is coming down. 1, 2, 3. Expect a continuation to the downside here on CADJPY before any resumption of the move to the upside. That's all on the Forex pairs. Let's look at the indices. The indices are very interesting and straightforward. What we have forecasted on the indices is playing out exactly as we have forecasted a couple of weeks back. If you remember, we had some trade setups on the indices. I'm not sure if I can find them quickly. Right, so the indices, these are the indices. Let's look at the S&P 500, what we've posted. We had trade setups on these. So this is the first one, the buy setup that we had on the S&P 500, looking for this to go for a wave 5. That is what the forecast was here. I'll open the actual link here. Let me go to the Slack channel. Let's open it from there. So this was the forecast on S&P 500 for this to go for that wave 5. Where are we now? We're currently here. We are making a corrective structure. Looks like we are going to continue higher, and that wave 5 is now in sight. This is how this is playing out now. S&P 500. So this is where we are. We're looking for this one to continue to the upside. We also have also the Dow Jones Industrial now. Dow also exactly the same entry here and then upside. That is how this is playing out. Now we're still expecting continuation to the upside. It is playing out exactly as we have expected it to. There's also the NASDAQ, but you will see as we do the analysis now shortly. So what is the expectation with the indices, or rather the S&P 500? Let's start with the S&P 500. It's just looking for continuation to the upside. Let's look at the website here. We've got clear structures on the indices here. Let's see on the S&P 500. So the S&P 500, I'll show you just the 4-hour chart so you can see where this is coming from. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is only the wave 3 of the yellow degree. So we are looking for this wave 5 in the yellow degree. That's why there was a trade set up for a buy here. We're looking for this one to continue to the upside as follows. It's playing out exactly as forecasted, including the Dow Jones. Let's go to the Dow Jones Industrial. Let's go to the Dow Jones Industrial. Dow Jones Industrial, we've got follow the blue. If If you follow the blue structure, very clear to see that this should continue to the upside. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are now just making this lower degree. The correction that you see is the lower degree. We're expecting 5 waves there. Okay, very clear structures, and that is how the Dow is playing out now. We've got this seemingly a trade setup for continuation to the upside. Watch it for the week ahead. Transportation, nothing new except that this should continue to the upside as well. The Nasdaq, we also had a setup on the Nasdaq for upside. That's okay. We're looking for this one to push up higher for that wave 5 as well. All right. They should follow each other. Right, so that is the Nasdaq, and let's look at the rest of the structures. All right, let me show you the structure here on the Nasdaq. So you can see the structure. I know some of you wants to see the sequence. This is the sequence: 1, 2, 3, 4. We're looking for the 5. So where we are now is this yellow degree. In the lower degree, we're expecting 5 waves up. We already have 5 waves there. That's what we're looking for. We've got our wave 4 there. Very clear structures, nothing forced, clear structures on the indices. UK 100, very interesting one. We've been showing you this corrective structure for a while now. Now, can you really see what the structure is? Because the idea here is to trade when this corrective structure is complete. So what we're seeing here is 3 waves down here. We should just show you in the red here. It's 3 waves down here in red, 3 waves up again in the red degree, and we're expecting the 3 waves down here before we move to the upside. We have made a move to the downside. We made a bit of a push to the upside. Is this ready to push higher? We have to wait and see. This is the UK 100. Let's see how the UK 100 looks. It is that structure that I was showing you now. Is it ready to push up higher now? We'll have to wait and see. I've already started with an impulse, not a convincing one, but let's see if we're going to go all the way up. Then the DAX, let's have a look at the DAX. We've got the DAX here on the 4-hour. This wave 4 is looking extended. We're looking for the DAX to do this when that is done. Just like the UK 100, we are in this corrective structure on the DAX, so that corrective structure here. So we could have this one as a 3 waves here, and we could have another X here, possibly, and we get another corrective structure here before we push up higher. Could be extended, we could be sideways for a while. Let's see how this plays out. Can we get a triangle? Let's see. I've not seen the possibility of a triangle as yet. The triangle is also possible, but let's see how this is going to play out. It's premature to predict a triangle there. That is the DAX. And the Nikkei. Nikkei, very interesting structure, could end in possibly 2 ways, but they will all have the same bias. If you look at the Nikkei, there's a clear 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4. Is this going to end as a diagonal, or is this the option here? So there's an option or another view here, which is very clear on the Nikkei. So that is the 5 waves that you've seen there. And in the lower degree here on the Nikkei, there's a possibility that we have this as a start of wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it could be impulsive or may not necessarily be a diagonal. It does not have to be a diagonal, but that's what we're looking at now. We'll see how this plays out on the Nikkei. And lastly, we don't have Nifty listed on the site, but we do analyze it. So the Nifty has got 5 waves, 5 clear waves as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and looking for this one to complete the wave 5. So the wave 5 here looks like it's the lower degree wave 5 looks to be almost complete on the Nifty. All right, so that's all I have for you this week, guys. Let me just see if we've missed anything here. We've got everything. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to hit the notification button if you'd like to see this video next time we upload. And please drop a comment, like the video so that it can go to as many people as possible. Thank you very much for watching. Trade responsibly. See you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks for our technical traders for the support here. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.